I am eternal.
Hello, Forrest Fenn treasure seekers! Fenny Bones here vocalizing on my channel for the very first time. A special thanks here to Christy and Mike for giving me a shout out in their Vlog 191 video. I appreciate the mention of my overwhelming number of subscribers, all 20 of them. But you know what though? It doesn't appear this treasure is going to be found for the next 2,000 years, so who knows how many I'll have by then. Anyways, I was asked to give my opinion on all these scrapbooks, but first, I'm a little concerned over a few things. Now, I really believe gold fever has taken its toll on the community the last couple of months. I mean, this searcher holding up double blazes is now popular on coffee mugs all over the world. I've seen Forrest Fenn talking puppets. There's a man in the park constantly singing "Man in the Park." We have cows with lasers stirring up roosters all over the dude ranch. Who and what the hell? Well, there's some fella behind a skeleton mask holding up cards like they were clues or something. Then there's this octopus who has a bunch of private investigators working for him and now appears backwards on his channel. Like we still can't see them. Of course, now I have to mention how Ty Incorporated seems to enjoy the octopus's impersonations at first, but must not have cared for his narrations. Then a cop or copyrights got involved or something like that. I'll tell you one thing though, YouTube seems to be as sharp as a bowling ball when it comes to whipping up strikes against our Fenn community. We got to be careful, y'all. I know. You probably think everything I said is just plain crazy, but you can think whatever you want. My bones refuse to get offended easily. Speaking of craziness, how about all these scrapbooks coming out of the main man himself, Forrest Fenn? Let's go back to Scrapbook 211. Forrest reminds us he can and will make all the rules. After all, he is the one that holds all the cards to this treasure search. Speaking of cards, if you haven't seen my cards on the table video, you might want to check that out. Ironically, I released it right before Scrapbook 211 appeared. If you did watch my video, you may have noticed I was holding up aces and eights. In Scrapbook 211, Forrest specifically mentions the number 58688. The 3 8s are in plain sight. But do you see the number 11? 5 plus 6 equals 11. So there you have your 3 8s and 2 aces. 1 and 1 are your 2 aces. Ooh, I got a fun fact. In Canasta, each player is dealt 11 cards, and you use 2 decks of cards, so there are 8 cards for every number. In my video, I have 3 aces and 2 8s. But I was also hinting that aces and eights could be very important numbers in the search. It's probably just a coincidence that Forrest mentioned the number 58688 right after my video, but it was the first thing I noticed. There are many reasons I like aces and eights, and if you look at my bones, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. I've heard lots of mentions of 3s, 6s, and 9s, and I believe those numbers could be very, very important, but no one has ever really talked about the number 8. But I believe it's because no one has really imagined the number 8. Now, you may well be asking yourself, what on God's green earth are you talking about, imagining the number 8? Well, I'm about to tell you right now. Number 1. I imagined myself as Forrest Fenn winning a bracelet in a game of pool against Byron Harvey. It was just a regular game of pool, and the final ball I needed to hit was the number 8. That 8 ball was pretty important, I'd say. Number 2. I imagined myself as Forrest Fenn when he was a kid, drinking his favorite soda of all time, Grapehead. I imagined drinking it down to its last drop, and my father telling me, "All you're gonna get out of there is 8 ounces of soda, boy. They don't fill up a bottle like Dr. Pepper does." We all know Forrest has mentioned Grey Pet many, many times, and even again recently in Scrapbook 216. Number 3. This one is for all of you searchers with brown trout solves. This time I imagined myself as Donnie, out there with Forrest Fenn fishing for brown trout. I was watching Forrest catch one fish after the other while I was catching nothing but the sun. So I asked him to show me what he was doing that was so different than myself, and he showed me a technique that he learned from his dad. He told me that this trick mostly was for catching muskellunge, but it seemed to work for catching different kinds of trout as well. He told me the technique was called the figure eight. Now, you may go ahead and Google the figure eight technique if you like, which I bet some of you are doing right this moment. Anyways, I could share my imagination on the number 8 all day long, but I'm going to leave this last one especially for the New Mexico searchers. So listen here. Number 4. In Too Far to Walk, there is an S inside a red box on the page just before the map. Most of you probably all know this, and how it can be seen through the map with a good light behind it. If not, that's okay. I'll demonstrate now. You see, some people believe that this is a coincidence, while others may think it was intentionally put there. I know quite a good few searchers who have searched within that box, and even used that boxed S as a guide. But why would I mention an S? That's not an 8. Remember, Forrest Fenn likes to talk about mirrors, so I imagined the mirror of an S over the top of an S already there, and of course, this forms the number 8. Here's a rough drawing over Google Earth maps of what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say what state or states I'm mainly searching, but if your state search is in New Mexico, could you just imagine the treasure turning up somewhere within the number 8? Well, I do my best not to guess as I intertwine my imagination with the facts. Only Forrest himself knows why all these scrapbooks are being tossed at us faster than a Dizadine baseball all of a sudden. One thing is for certain, though. Life is like a game of poker, and a potential $1 to $3 million pot could bring a whole lot of happiness. With Forrest holding all the cards in the deck and making the rules, we all have to make our choices. We can either play, bluff, or fold our cards. I prefer to remain in the game since I've put so much time and effort into this thrill of the chase already. Not to mention my family keeps telling me we keep running out of wheat ears, so I need to dip my toe in some warm water real quick like. But since I'm not out there braving the cold at the moment, I'm just gonna kick back and enjoy these scrapbooks. Pour in, read some Forrest Fenn literature a few thousand more times. Maybe memorize the poem backwards over the next few months. Well, I'm not so sure about that one. But one thing's for sure, if you're kind-hearted enough to hit that like and subscribe button down below, I'll keep rolling out these Fenny Bones imaginative videos. If you don't, then that's okay too. My wonderful voice, content, Fenny jokes, and thoughts might not be for everybody. But one thing's for sure, I've more pockets than a pool table in my skull, and although those pockets may contain a lot of air, they're deeply filled with my own ideas, thoughts, and imagination. Well, you never know. One of those pockets may even hold the key to unlocking this whole treasure story. Well, since there's no rainbow at the end of my rope today, I'll just leave you with a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Take time for all things. Great haste makes great waste. Signing off.